Rob Hood experience. Is that what I should call this from now on? Oh, Joe Rogan. He called his podcast The Experience. That's kind of cool. Even though I don't like Joe. Don't like Joe. That's my t-shirt. Don't like Joe. Listen, I already did a live stream today. We already talked about the news, so we're really not going to talk about the news. I want to do a thought experiment, and I don't have much time. Okay, so we got to do this thought experiment like snappy. But I'm like doing stuff. Hey, what is it? What is it? Shower thoughts. That's what I was going to say. Shower thoughts. They call them shower thoughts. I even think there's a Reddit thread sub community. There's a Reddit thing called shower thoughts. Yeah, I'm almost positive. Hold on. I'm positive. Hold on. Reddit shower thoughts. And if you don't understand what shower thoughts are, it is because we used to utilize this. What's up, Solus? I'm back, but I'm back quickly because I want to do a thought experiment. I was doing a bunch of stuff, right? I was like, do a little reading, do a little cleaning, get a little stuff done. And in the back of my head, I was like, oh my God, there's so many people constantly in this chat that aren't offering up much for dialogue or conversation. But really, it's always like an attack. There's so much attacking going on in the comment section. And I don't know if they feel threatened or offended, but I need people to understand when I comment on the news, the position I come from, number one, is not Democrat or Republican. Move those out of the way, okay? But number two, I always come from a place of like, what would make people's lives better? And I had this shower thought. I wasn't in the shower, but I had this shower thought when I was doing stuff. Like, that's what I should do. I try to, and I didn't do it last live stream because I got a few things going on today. But I should always ask people where they're from. What do you do? Welcome to the live stream. Hit subscribe. Where are you from? What do you do? But also, I would like people's input, because this was at one point kind of the basis of the country. We the people, for the people, by the people, of the people, with the people, the people. And I thought, why not? I had this cool shower thought. Why not just ask people, like, what do you want out of this country? Because maybe the thought was lost that, like, we're not supposed to be run by politicians. They're public servants. They serve the public. We give them votes. We pay their salaries so they can serve. They can implement things that do better for our communities. And I thought, why not just start asking people? We could crowdsource. The internet is a wonderful thing. We can crowdsource a better world. So I position the question, what would you like? Not out of our government, not out of our politicians. What would make your life better? What's up, CJ? No, I didn't shower. You showered? No. I just had a shower thought while I was doing other things. People say while you're showering, the shower thoughts come because when you're showering, you use. Let me just look this up. Why do they call it shower thoughts? This is incredible. You could just type something into this computer machine and it hooks into the wireless web of the world and you could get answers. Back in my day, if you weren't close to a library, you were never going to be able to ask a librarian what shower thoughts meant. Shower thoughts is a term used to describe the unexpected, often profound ideas and insights that people experience while taking a shower. These thoughts often involve paradoxes, philosophical concepts, or creative solutions to problems. The phenomenon is so common that it also has its own dedicated subreddit. I don't like AI overview, okay? I wanted like some kind of Encyclopedia Britannica, resonance kinetics. Hey, bro, did you paint that red beautiful? No, I did not. No, a friend of mine did. I did not paint that. I do have paintings of mine up on the wall, but like I said, I don't think. Oh no! We have got to 100 likes, but it wasn't on that video. There was a video I said I'll show my artwork, but we got to get to 100 likes. I mean, dip heads are always asking if you do so. I know, CJ. That's one of the brilliant insights we get on this channel. The commenters going, "I could smell you from here." It's like, just shut up. Go watch Jeff Ross or Bill Burr or Greg Giraldo, rest his soul. Go watch one of these guys roast people and then come back to the comments, okay? Your friend paints. I love painting. I do paint, and I'm working on a couple of oil painting pieces right now. But so anyways, why I did this, why I wanted to do a thought experiment is because usually I'm Rob, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I go live 5 days a week. This is my second time today because I had a shower thought while I was doing other things. And I said, I got to crowdsource some good information. And the shower thought I had was, why don't we just ask the people on the YouTube what they would like in a better country, in a better community, in a better place they live. And I'll start, okay? Who, what, where? I hate Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson. It's interesting that those girls are fighting, get out the saucers of milk, cat fight, but those guys are rubbish humans. So let me start. I'll start. My shower thought, which is, again, like when you're doing other things, you don't have to be in the shower when you're doing other things and you have this profound philosophical moment. And I was like, why don't I just crowdfund or crowdsource great ideas for our country? I think this is the best way we come to a better world. And we could do it. This country is supposed to be we the people, for the people, us the people, by the people, up the people, down the people, all over the people. It's supposed to be all those the people things, right? And remember, politicians are public servants. You give them the vote to go and represent you and make your life better. Government is not a business. It's a provider of services done with our taxes. So now that baseline is out of the way, CJ's kicking it off. Healthcare for everyone. Jesus Christ. I like that name. Already subscribed a while back. I know that, Resonance Kinetics, because I remember your name, because I said, you must know some physics of the ponderous. Hey, what's up, Tiara? Tiara, Albania in the house. Oh, and by the way, drop where you're from if you're around the world. But this doesn't matter. This is not U.S., this doesn't have to just pertain to the people of the U.S. Okay, I would like to crowdsource this information of what would make a better living. I'll start after CJ said healthcare for everyone. I think healthcare, and when people say, "Oh, you want free healthcare?" No, what they mean by free healthcare or universal basic health or universal healthcare is that we want our taxes not to pay for bombs where David Draymond signs them like some hard-on. We want our taxes to pay for our health care. We want to get something back for those taxes we pay. And we're not seeing that. And I would also, here's another thing I would like. I would like a receipt with my taxes. How come I got to figure out what I owe and then I don't even get a receipt from the government? Think about if you paid somebody to do something, right, on your house or wherever. Even when you're buying a donut, Mitch Hedberg, when you're buying a donut, they'll offer you a receipt. There's some kind of record for the transaction. How come our government in America, does anybody's government do this? I heard like Sweden or something does. I'm not looking it up right now. I think it was a Michael Moore movie. Where to Invade Next. Watch that movie. Excellent movie. Bring the receipts. Zeke the Beast, Zeke. I think when we do our taxes, we should get a receipt of what that money went to. What's been allotted where, and I mean, for all the people who believed in Doge, did you get your check? I just bought a new Mercedes with my Doge rebate check. Remember those? This is adorable. This is so adorable. By the way, Tesla's CEO, Elon Musk, that sig-hailing dolt, just got approved for a $29 billion pay package. So if you're like into him and fraud and making sure the government's efficient, then you should be all for getting a receipt with your taxes. That's one thing. I think we should be working a 3-day work week. Let me just look up, hold on. Kellogg Capitalism. Kellogg's 6-hour day, a capitalist vision of liberation. I love this. I love history. If you don't like history, figure it out. Oh God, they want to buy a book, Cambridge.org. I don't want to buy a book, you jerk. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna have to. I'll get it. I'll get it next time. I'll get it next time. I have the book right over there, Utopia for Realists by Dutch historian Rooker Brickman, and he talked about how even the Kellogg capitalism is a real thing. I don't know if he's Tom Kellogg or whatever, the guy who invented Kellogg cereal. He thought by now, well, he figured out that when people weren't overworked, working 7 days a week, productivity went up. When if they were paid the same amount to work less, they had more money to spend, more leisure time. So all these things, and that was from like the robber barons. So I want your thoughts. But can't be a billionaire without being exploited. But I think a 3-day work week, a minimum wage of $66 an hour, where everyone, and remember, because I say that and people get shocked, they like have a heart attack. Remember, we're talking about what would make this world better. There's no wrong answers, but there's also no making the world worse or saying what about me or what my taxes or none of that. What we want to implement, and I want to get your ideas, is Kellogg was not a good dude, but I bring him up because even he was saying what people nowadays would say radical leftist things, and this was like a gnarly dude, but he was even like, oh, it's common sense. If you're not working people to death and they have more money, they'll buy your products and they'll come back and not be injury prone and they'll be more productive. It's common sense. And somehow we're like regressing. So I wanted to get people to think about like what would make this world better. Universal health care paid for by our taxes, receipts with our taxes, a 3-day work week. So you had, 4 days. Or why don't we just make the week 8 days? Why don't we just cut one of the days in half and we'll have more days to the week? There are no wrong answers, folks. This is what I mean. What do you want to see? Resonance kinetics. We have a serious issue statistically. Microplastics, every man, woman, child have been consuming about 40,000 to 50,000, which disrupts the endocrine system. I just seen something, resonance kinetics, on that the other day. I can't remember the article. But I didn't link the Discord in the chat. But by the way, we share stuff, CJ, me. There's a few more people in the Discord. We got a cool little community. If Solus can drop it, I don't know if he's here still. But Solus, if you could drop the Discord thing. I went really quick. This is going to be, they're turning the frogs gay. Thank you, Solus. You're the best. Solus is amazing. But yeah, there was an article, which if I could find, I'll put in the Discord, because that's obviously an easier place to communicate. And when you think about it was an article, Resonance Kinetics. There's the Discord link. Thank you so much, Solus. Amazing. And it's a cool location. I just threw in some stuff, some YouTube recommendations. And again, if you join the community, this isn't just news commentary. It's a smorgasbord of everything. Yay, some bully me and say Albania isn't good. Why would they dare say that? Have they ever been there? That's a big problem in the world. People comment on stuff that they haven't experienced. Like, I can comment on capitalism. When people are like, capitalism is great, I'm like, listen, I've been living it under it for decades, and let me tell you, it's not going the way you think it is. I know there's a few people making out like bandits, Leonardo DiCaprio and Jeff Bezos on your yacht, but the rest of us are like worried about grocery costs. Great sir should get more involved. I actually have some commercials to educate the public to replace current polyurethane and chitin plastics. That's what I was saying, resonance kinetics. There was an article about the microplastics in your home. You always read about it like in the ocean, in the fish, and I don't eat much fish, but if you do, just beware. And why they tell pregnant women not to eat much fish because of the mercury. It just, what I mean? It's a very scary thing. But then the article, I'll try to find it, because it was like something about the amount of microplastics in your home, and I was like, God damn, I could create a whole action figure when I poop. So that's why I wanted to make this video, because I wanted to see and this is also a test for MAGA, because MAGA never really says like what things they like that are better outside of parroting Donald Trump's whatever he's telling you today. And I just want to see like your own ideas, because I think people not going into medical debt, not debating whether to call Uber instead of an ambulance. I think a shorter work week. Well, never mind what I think, but it's been proven. We've talked about this on the channel many times. The UK just did a study with 1,000 different companies that went down to a 4-day work week, and almost all of them are staying with it because, again, productivity is more. The burnout is less. There's not as high turnover. People are happier. I mean, it's like common sense. I'm missing some of the comments. But I just want to see if anybody else has ideas like those things that are maybe outside the realm, something I haven't considered. I would love to know. And guns is why I don't want Democrat. Okay, Barrett, did you hear what I said? What would make the world better? What do you think? You know, what could you add? Not guns is why I don't want Democrat. I think free college. Speaking of that comment, higher education. I never understood why, number one, people wouldn't want, if you claim your country is the best, why you wouldn't want your country to be the most educated, you know? It's one of those baffling things where it's like, what do you want to be the best at? You know, because I would like us to have the smartest people. I would like if somebody wants to pursue an art degree or a degree in, what do they always make fun of? They always make fun of these weird, like, philosophy degree. It's like, that's awesome stuff. Why do you also make fun of the people who get those degrees, but then, you know, put on these pedestals these grifter influencers who quote philosophy philosophers, you know, but do it with their shaved heads and muscle shirts. I want corporations to be held accountable. CJ, did you watch John Oliver's Last Week Tonight about basically corporate accountability and how they have all these agreements where, you know, instead of anybody being held accountable, which if you or I committed those crimes that they did, we would be right in prison. They get like I forget what the agreements are called, where if they don't do anything bad in the next few days, then they're fine. It's very fascinating. Who do you want to pay? Oh, Jim Bob, again. I hate that. Jim Bob, what would make life better? It's not who do you want to pay for it. Because again, you add nothing to the conversation. And I already said, our taxes pay for these things. That's how the government runs. I don't know if you're worried. Well, I mean, if you understand that. May I say this without sounding like a conspiracy theorist, that it would be a better place without the Masonic order. I believe it. So MAGA, I'm challenging you to use that thing inside your skull. It's called the brain. What would make life better? Not saying libtards or who do you want to pay for it? Imagine if it was already paid for. Imagine if we taxed billionaires out of existence. Anything over 999,999,099 was taxed at 100%. Okay? Imagine if that happened and we could fund these things. Like, what would you want to see? It's exhausting. And I guess the proof is here that they can't do it. They can't add. But I want you to think about that, because contrary to popular culture's belief, we don't just do what the politicians say. We are their bosses. We are the ones that hired them through votes. They are public servants. Sound money system. We lost our money in 1913. We lost control of our government on 11/22/63. That was the day they took Kennedy out, correct? Wealth isn't cash. Even if you confiscated all, it wouldn't pay for much. Interesting. So does anybody have any other insights? What's something you'd like to pursue? I would like to see more people be able to have pets, you know? And I think you always hear about how many shelter dogs there are, shelter cats. And I think the other problem is there's so many renters here in America. And I would love to be able to set up programs where people in prisons were able to take care of pets, and there was some kind of rehab in prisons, and prison wasn't just a for-profit system. I would love to see the internet be a national utility. I would like to take water, electric, internet out of corporate private equity ownership, and I think that should be something that is not only at a low cost for everyone, but because it's utilized in every facet of our lives today, it should be easily accessible to everyone. So if we lived in your fairy tale land, what would we want? Healthcare, but men can't be women. Charles, it's like you guys can't even do this thought exercise. Pretend to live in a fairy tale for a minute. I know that might be a threatening word to some men. Fairy tale, how dare you? I call it a manly tale. Like, just pretend for a second. What would make things amazing for you? Not, saying, I want to live in the land of the free where I say men shouldn't be women. Because again, this is one of those conundrums I can't wrap my head around. People that claim to live freedom and wear "Don't Tread on Me" shirts, but then they have a problem if someone wants to express themselves or be whatever they want to be. Like, what is that about? I really don't understand it. Barrett, are all jobs created by billionaires good jobs or are they crap jobs? Well, that's how I always ask. People will be like, oh, don't you want Amazon to come into town or do you want them to close up and go away? And I go, well, what kind of jobs are they? Do they pay you enough where you can buy a home and go on multiple vacations? Or are they horrible exploiting jobs? Because that's what most of society is filled with. Rattlesnake. Well, Barry, I don't know if I can argue with that comment. He just wants rattlesnake. Take housing out of private equity hands 100%. So I wanted you guys to think about that. This was just a brief second live. This was no news commentary, but it was a thought experiment, especially to the people who just regurgitate stuff like, what are you, the radical woke left? Like, I want you to think, what would make this, instead of being like, do whatever Trump said, yeah, tariffs are the best now. Like, instead of that, I want you to expand your mind and just try to consider what would make life awesome. Not you trying to say like, well, I don't want these people to do this. No. What would make your life better? I want you guys to think about that. See, again, Jim Bob, I'm not even going to read that comment because when you say like more prisons and stuff like that, it's like you're just a sad, sad person then. Like, if you're telling me that I want more prisons, I want more people to suffer, that's the only happiness I get is from others suffering. That's what you're saying. It's horrible, man. It's horrible. And it just shows me you lack any kind of original thought. I feel like I'm in that Good Will Hunting scene where he's like, well, at least I won't be unoriginal. Go watch Good Will Hunting. I used to deliver at Amazon and they treated me like a criminal trying to drop off their freight. I get a friend who works for Amazon and they are gnarly to their employers. Government funding medical research would be nice. Isaac, remember, this is a thought experiment. You could say, I want the government to push forward medical research. Some of you guys are so sad. So sad. Instead of think about what I'm asking on this live stream, not commenting on the news. Say, what would you like in this life to make this life more incredible? Guaranteed sick time, guaranteed vacation time. Go look up Europe. European countries have guaranteed vacation. Like, they take many vacations. And some of you are just trying to attack or insult me. Like, listen, I'm asking, what would make your life better? And you're like, F this guy. How dare he ask me what my life would be better? I say prisons, and he says, I like suffering. Like, you're sad. You're sad. You understand me? Insert opinion. If you convince the lowest white man he's better than the best color man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, he'll give you someone to look down on. He'll empty his pockets for you. Yeah, that's a pretty famous quote, right? I forget where that's come. 4-day work week. Walkable cities. There we go. My God. My God. Good paying job. Yep. Imagine if, the minimum wage kept up with productivity, inflation, corporate CEO pay raises. I think we should tie the minimum wage to corporate pay raises. And when they get a 1,000% raise, we get that too. I think if we tie it, then that's a better for our working class communities. Oh my God, Resonance Kinetics. I'm back Had to go check something. All right, guys. Well, that was it. I just wanted to do a simple thought experiment. I really wanted to challenge people's minds to think of like what would be great for our communities. Because here in America, like anyone can run for anything, you know, with certain stipulations, depending on the office. But we can make this world whatever we want it to be. And I find it fascinating that when I ask that question, some people just attack me. It's very telling of your character. I hope you don't go to church. You should be very careful of what Jesus says about that. But I find it personally, it's just sad, you know. But I think it's an interesting thing to consider. And I just wanted to have a reminder to those who are fighting to keep the status quo in place or for other people suffering. We can make this world whatever we want, okay? What is going on in the chat? My God. Be kind to each other. CJ, Solus, much love. Who, what, where? Tiara, I forget who else was in here. Resonance Kinetics. Much love to you guys. Peace. I'll see you tomorrow. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Have a good afternoon, evening, day, fall, summer, autumn, wherever you are. What is it? Winter in Australia? It's so weird. The earth is so weird. Peace.